there is zero proof living in areas that have higher levels of radon causes health issues. So let's talk about what we find in the published literature. We do find, if you go to areas of really high natural background, a place like Ramsar, Iran. Now, Ramsar, Iran, the annual dose is about 10 rem. That's twice the legal dose for a radiation worker in the United States. That's twice the dose that the EPA, at the maximum dose that the EPA would recommend evacuation from a nuclear area. So between 1 and 5 rem, the EPA would recommend evacuation for the public if you could get that much dose in a year. And in Ramsar, Iran, rather than getting 1 to 5, they get around 10 rem per year. And it's mainly due to radon. And no, there have not been any statistically significant radiogenic cancers found in Ramsar, Iran. Now, again, that's a protracted exposure. So there is evidence like that if you have natural radon, that we're not seeing things. But that's not quite the whole story. We do know from the uranium miners that when they were digging holes down there back in the day when they were making nuclear weapons, that they did not really have good practices at all. We're not talking about just the bad practices with the environment and what happened with Native American land, but the workers themselves also suffered because they didn't have the proper ventilation and they were breathing very high levels of radon, and they did get elevated lung cancer. So the uranium miners made it clear that radon at high levels will give rise to increased cancer probability. But when you look at natural sources of radon, we're not seeing that in the literature. We do assume for regulatory protection that it is there, even though we haven't measured it and we don't know for a fact that it's there. But it's a conservative measure. Just like all nuclear energy and nuclear design, you assume the worst that it could possibly be and you design around that. Even if you don't have any evidence that it is that way, if it could be that way, you just assume that it is. So I hope that kind of clarifies the issue. And thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.